Now, if you were to use lots of sidechain, like many people do, perhaps in different musical genres, then, for example, if you dial it up to the extreme, like this, there's not a whole lot different than using a straight gallop. In other words, losing the first of your 16ths in every beat. So you only have 2 16ths per beat. For example, like that. See? You lose this one, so you have what's called a gallop. So if you have lots of sidechaining on a straight 16th bass like that, it's slightly different because of the low frequencies, but it's kind of the same. So if you want to keep a driving 16th bass and yet still make sure that your kick's got room to breathe, then I have a little solution for you. I made a rack. The idea behind this is that it splits the frequency from the bass line into 2, because you've got 2 parallel chains here running in parallel. So on one, I've put an EQ8 which has a low pass, which only allows the low frequencies through, and I have one on the other channel, or the other parallel stream of audio, which is removing the low frequencies, and I've mapped them to a crossover here. So as I move that up, then both are moving up. You can't display both at the same time in live, so you'll just have to take my word for the fact that they're both moving up and down at the same. So they cross over, those frequencies. Now, in live, you can't make an exact, precise crossover where the frequencies are held apart by the exact ratio of frequencies, but it's a good enough crossover for what I want to do. So now, on the sub-duck one that I've called sub-duck, I've put a compressor on it. And on the high one, I don't have a compressor. So what's happening is the signal splitting into 2. It's going through the high one, uncompressed and unaffected, apart from being filtered or split into 2. And the sub one is going into a compressor. Now I can sidechain that to the kick as well in the same way by choosing loop. And what happens is you get a sidechain which is ducking the low frequencies but leaving the top ones alone. And now you have to play a bit to get the right point, which is usually around 100, I find, something like that. And so if you look here, you can duck it some more. So you can have the ducking effect, but also have the driving effect of the 16th notes. Now if I turn this high chain off, so you can just hear the bass, you can probably hear that it's being ducked. If I turn the compressor off, it's just straight. Of course, again, you'll need headphones to hear this, and decent headphones at that. And this is, you can see it's pulsing. That pulsing in time with the kick on a big rig on the dance floor equates to big and chunky when you got the kick with it, because you can physically feel it. Okay, that's straight, that's pulsing. Now if we add the top in, which is not affected, you've got the drivingness of the 16ths. Okay, so that's that idea. Now you have to tweak it to where it works best in your particular track, in your particular key. And I'm overdoing the sub-duck there just for illustrative purposes. So that's that. I'll figure out how I can post this live rack up so you can download it if you want to play with it and if you use live. Okay, there you go. Some tips to get your kick and bass combos fat and funky and happening. See ya.